Hello, my fifth graders. Welcome to lesson 5.5. Today's lesson is titled Decimal Division. D-I-S-I-O-N. Division has so many I's in it. All right, guys. So today's lesson is decimal division. And they're going to be dealing with the pictures this time, like what is it that you're doing when you divide the decimals up? Now, this is going to be decimal by decimal division. So I'm going to show you picture-wise what you're doing, and then I'm going to show you algorithm, just the step-by-step of how to do it as well. It's the same that we've always been doing. Okay. So first of all, if I had the problem 1 and 2/10, and I wanted to divide that up into 3/10 groups. So I'm going to take my 1 and 2/10 and divide it up into 3/10 groups. How many groups is that? So each group is going to get 3/10. How many groups do I have? So that's the type of question that you get. So step 1, I need to draw what 1 and 2/10 look like. So I'm going to draw my whole and my 2/10. That's 1 and 2/10. Now I can't divide that up into 3/10 parts because I need to chop this up. So I'm going to take my axe, which looks like a flag, and I'm going to chop this up into tenths, which in one whole, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 tenths, right? 10 tenths in a whole. So now I have 12 tenths. Now I'm going to divide those 12 tenths up into 3/10 groups. It's a lot of me saying tenths. So there's one group. Color. There's 2 groups. There's 3 groups. There's 4 groups. So if I have 1 and 2/10 and I divide it into 3/10 groups, I get 4 groups. I get 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12, 1 and 2/10 divided by 3/10 is 4. Where'd my decimal go? I know, but that's how it works. I have a whole, I have 4. If I take my 1 and 2/10 and I divide it into 3, 4 people are going to get things. Okay, let's do another one, because if the first one was confusing, the second one might be less confusing, as the more and more we do them, the easier it typically gets. Okay, so that just doesn't look nice. Some of these are just not nice to draw, which is why we really only draw for a couple of them and then we move on. So the next problem is going to be 45 hundredths divided by 9 hundredths. And I want to know, if I have 45 hundredths and I divide them up into 9 hundredth pieces, how many groups do I get? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So instead of drawing my picture like I did last time, I drew out a 10 frame. And now I'm going to color 45 hundredths with red. So color. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. 100th, 200th, 300th, 400th, 500ths. Okay, so now I have my 45 hundredths shaded in. I have 45 hundredths shaded in, and I want to make 9 hundredth groups. So I want to make groups with 9 squares in each group. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's group 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's group 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's group 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's group 4. And 9 is group 5. So when I have 45 hundredths and I divide them up, I cut them apart. I get my little axe, and that looks like a flag, and I cut them apart into 900th groups. How many groups do I get? Well, I get 5 groups. So 45 hundredths divided by 9/10 is 5. Okay, so that's picture-wise what you're doing. Now, if I only relied on pictures, some of these problems, you guys, are really kind of weird to do. So the next problem we have is 96 hundredths divided by 24 hundredths. And so I need to take my 96 hundredths and divide it into groups of, that's a lot of 24 hundredths. Now I can do that. I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not even going to draw my base 10. So there's 90, 9/10 right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there I have my 96 hundredths. Now I'm going to divide that into groups of 24. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's 24. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Miss Gorman did not draw a 10 by 10, did she? What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's my fault, because I didn't count my numbers going down. Okay. Now I've got 10, 24. 10, 10, 24. And I still have 2 left in that one. So let's keep going. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Go back to purple. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So how many groups do I have? Well, I've got my 1, my 2, my 3, and my 4. That means when I have 96 hundredths and I divide it up into 24 pieces, like 24 hundredths, I get 4. 96 hundredths divided by 24 hundredths is 4. So that's what the pictures look like. But you can see how the pictures might take you a little bit of time. Absolutely, if you feel comfortable doing the pictures this time, go for it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back just one page and look at my directions. Step 1, get rid of the decimal in the divisor. I'm going to rewrite them. Do I want you to rewrite them? You sure know it. Step 1, get rid of the divisor. Decimal in divisor. You can't just like get rid of the divisor. Like then that's, yeah. Okay, get rid of the decimal in the divisor. Step 2, bring up the decimal. This has to happen after you get rid of it, because the way we get rid of it is we actually, I like to equate it to siblings because I had an older brother and everything he got, I had to get because my parents thought that was fair. So whatever you do to the divisor, you do to the dividend. So here's why we taught lesson 1 of the last 2 chapters. It all boils down to this. In order for me to move my decimal, I'm just multiplying or dividing by 10, right? Multiply, move to the right, divide, move to the left. And I know that's backwards, but it's not backwards for me. So let me try that again. Divide, move to the left, multiply, move to the right. Now the picture's correct. And because of that, whatever I do to the divisor, I must do to my dividend. It's going to be the same thing with fractions because fractions are just like division. It's just they're on top. Okay. So whatever you do to the divisor, you must do the dividend. If I multiply my divisor by 10 to get rid of my decimal, I'm going to multiply my dividend by 10 to get rid of my decimal. So what does that mean, Ms. Gorman? Excellent question. I'm glad you asked, Ms. Gorman. So I'm going to go back to this problem here. I have 1 2/10 divided by 3/10. Now I know the answer, which is good. Since I know the answer, I can see if I'm doing it correct. I'm going to build my little house. The divisor, the worker, is outside. He's mowing the lawn. My dividend is inside on the couch. Okay. Step 1, get rid of the decimal in the divisor. So see how there's a decimal in this divisor? That makes me mad. I do not want, mainly because I don't know my 3/10 facts. I know my 3 facts really good. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, so I know them really well. My 3/10 facts, 3/10, 6/10, 9/10, 1 2/10. So it gets a little more complicated. Maybe you know your 3/10 really well. So get rid of the decimal in the divisor. So I want my decimal here. This is where I want it so that I have a whole number, so that I have a 3. So if I move this here, then I'm a happy camper. I have 3 divided by something. I can divide things by 3. But whatever I do to my divisor, I must do to my dividend. Otherwise, they get jealous. And I don't know about you, but when siblings get jealous, they get loud. So I'm going to take this decimal and move it over 1. Whatever I do to my divisor, I must do to my dividend. So if my decimal moves over here 1, it's out of my divisor. Woohoo! Step 1 done. Now step 2, bring up the decimal. Then step 3 is divide. Since I've gotten rid of the decimal in my divisor, I'm just dividing by 3. 3 goes into 1. Nope. 3 goes into 12. 4 times. And that's my answer. 4 with a decimal, because that's just a whole. Now, does that check out to here? It sure does. Great. Let's do this problem, since I already know the answer. I've got my house. I'm building my house. I've got my 9/100ths outside. And my 45/100ths is my dividend inside the house. Now, I need to get my decimal here so that I can divide by 9 instead of 9/100ths. So how do I do that? Well, I need to move it once, twice. Technically, what you're doing is you're multiplying it by 100. And whatever you do to your divisor, you do to your dividend. Basically, what we're doing is just moving the decimal place twice. So I'm going to move it once, twice, to the right. This is the right. To the right, to the right. That's really weird to do on camera. Sorry. So I moved it twice to here. And remember, we have jealousy. So whatever I do to my divisor, I must do to my dividend. Since I moved it twice in my divisor, I'm going to move it once, twice in my dividend. That makes it a legal move. So what I mean by that is mathematically it's correct, which is awesome. Once, twice, step 1. I got rid of the decimal in the divisor. Step 2, bring up the decimal. It now lives here. Step 3, divide. 9 goes into 45. 9 into 45 is 5. Multiply. Subtract. Bam, you're done. So, picture what we do. We color 45. We cut it into 9/100th groups. There's 5 groups. Picture of what we did. We had 1 2/10. We cut them into tenths, divided them into 3/10 groups, got 4. picture of what we did, mathematically what we did. Step 1, get rid of the decimal in the divisor. Step 2, bring up the decimal. Step 3, divide. And that is when you go divide, multiply, subtract. You're supposed to check. We don't always check. Bring down. Okay, you guys, that's it for today. This is what I want you to have in your notes. We're going to do a lot more practice in class together. Have a great night. Have a great morning.